Hey there, computer scientists. Welcome to Chapter 7. We're going to start talking about array lists. And array lists are a handy tool with some built-in functionality that make them a little bit easier to deal with than a regular array. The nice thing about an array list is that it is resizable. So whenever you have an array, a regular old array, if you want to add things or take things away, you have to create a whole new array. With an array list, you can add or remove things on the fly. As it says here, sometimes they're just called lists. So anything that has the word list in it, whether it's array list or just list, that's what we're talking about here. So one other thing that you have to know is that this isn't included by default in every Java program. It's part of the Java util library, utilities, and is specifically, as it says here, java.util.ArrayList. So if you want to use it, you got to do one of these things. You either have to import all of the utilities or just the array list. There's not really a lot of difference. You're not actually importing everything. When you do import utilities, what you're doing is giving your program the opportunity to import everything in there. The compiler is smart enough to realize if you are only importing ArrayList to only look at that part of the library. It's not going to make your program like 500 gigabytes by importing every possible utility. It looks through your program. It says, oh, look, there's ArrayList. That's what they're talking about. So most of the time we'll just do this because it's easier. You don't have to remember as much, and it doesn't make any difference for size or speed. To declare an array list, you use the word array list, shockingly, and then in these little angle brackets, you decide what kind of array list you're going to have. And like arrays, array lists can only hold one type of thing. You can't have an array list where some things are integers, some things are strings, some things are Boolean. It doesn't work like that. It's same as an array. It's a line of buckets, and the buckets all have to hold the same type of thing. The one difference in array lists and arrays is that array lists can only hold objects. So int, just the regular lowercase int, is not an object. It is a primitive type. Same with lowercase double. Same with lowercase bool for Boolean. All of those things have objects that correspond to them. So as it says here, if you want to have an array list of integers, you have to use this capital I integer object. For all other purposes, they work identically, right? Capital I integer 5 plus 5 still equals 10. It doesn't do anything weird. It's just that array lists have to hold objects. They can't hold primitives. So that's why we have to use that capital I integer, capital D double, things like that. So here's an example of an integer array list, basically it declares a new array list of type integer. It's called numList, and then we create the new object of that type. Don't forget the parentheses here. You're calling a constructor. So when you create this, it doesn't actually put anything in it, right? The size is 0 here. At the bottom, you can see the size is 0. All it does is say, I've created space for an array list. There's nothing in it yet, but that's what it's going to be. If we want to put things in the array list, right, we can do it using an array, but that's not on the AP exam. But if you wanted to like start your array list with some items in it, you could do it this way. You could make an array of strings and then use this asList method to convert it to an array list. Like I said, it's not on the exam. I'm not too worried about it. Usually the way we're going to do it is using the add method. So looking at this, there is an array list of strings. We're going to call it shopping list. And we're going to create a new empty array list of strings. So the size is going to be 0 when we start. And then we're going to add strings to it because it's a string array list. We're going to add carrots, bread, chocolate, print out the size. And then it creates another array of quantities, which is supposed to kind of match up with this so that, quantity of carrots is 2, quantity of bread is 4, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the point being, you add to your array, to your array list, sorry. You add to your array list, and that's how you grow an array. So let's run this. There we go. So you can see when we created the array list, the size was 0. We added carrots, bread, chocolate, carrots, bread, chocolate, and then the size is 3. Same for the integers. So this programming challenge just asks you to break up a number into its digits. And we want to put it into an array list. So for example, we want to create an array list with the digits 1, 5, 4. So what we need, well, let's see what it does here. It's saying print out the number divided by 10 and print out the number modulus 10. 15 and 4, so that's handy because if we want to put all of the numbers in an array list, then we need to chop off numbers one at a time. So using divided by 10 will chop off that last number and give us 15. Using the number modulus 10 chops off that number and gives us that number 4. So where did it go? There we go. So try a different number. It just wants us to try a different number. That's fine. Great. All right, so here's where it actually occurs. We have an array list of integers. We want to chop off the last item of the number, put it in an array list over and over and over and over again. So first, it says we need to initialize digit list to an empty array list of integers. So I'm just going to kind of cheat here and copy this. And I'm going to say digit list equals new array list of integers with parentheses. So if I keep dividing that number by 10, I'm going to get the digits, but eventually I'm going to run out of digits. So I'm going to stop when that number becomes equal to 0. So while number is greater than 0, I want to add the last digit. So I want to say digit list.add. And how do I get it? I say number %10. That will add the last digit onto my list. And then I need to say number equals number divided by 10. Oops. Okay. And then because I'm putting them, like say the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, if I keep adding from the end, my array list will look like 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's suggesting that I use reverse my digits list to make it go in the right order. So let's do that and see if it works. Yay! I got the digits 1, 5, and 4 from the number 154. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So hopefully that explains how array lists work. If you have any questions, just hit me up in Discord or send me an email.